We're back in.
Tell you what, that tune is growing on me, man. Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where we will be talking about Burnley 1, Forest 1, and we'll touch on a big week, as it is a European week, the first one in 30 years at Forest. You know the drill. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Check out the sponsors of the video, okjerseys.com, where you can get your replica shirts for £15. But even better than that, use code FFTV. You get a further 8% off. But do go one size up is my recommendation. All right, we're going to get into this. We're going to kick it off with some opening thoughts from the boys. Is there anyone who would like to go first?
Yeah, go on. I'll jump in.
Go on.
To be fair, it was nice. Yesterday, it was nice to end the game, not fuming and raging at us, capitulating in the last few minutes or poor performance. The result yesterday wasn't great, but the performance was fine. They're a good team. They're a much better Burnley than they were when they went down a couple of years ago. And I think there's a lot of pressure on Parker anyway to try and prove himself at this level. And I think in terms of the way they play, the way they set up, they're a good team. I think they'll do well. They're number 16. I don't know if you noticed him, but Florentino, he was fun. He ran everything, mate. He was brilliant. So they've got some really good players, and there wasn't a bad workout yesterday. So I'm glad I didn't end the game, like say, fuming and raging at the result. In terms of how we set up starting lineup, the main concern was always going to be over Murillo, and I kind of understand him not risking him yesterday and saving him for Betis if that's his game plan, and that's probably why, going back in hindsight, why he took Morata off at halftime against Swansea in midweek. So understanding the reasons behind his lineup. One that I really didn't understand, and I don't even understand why he never came up, was Hutchinson. He's not going to be playing in midweek, so he should have been given some minutes. We'll discuss individual players, but I don't think Ndoye really stood out. But Neco Williams did. Neco Williams was fantastic. I don't understand the play ratings, mate. That's the only bit I saw.
5.9, mate. What are you done in the chat doing?
Even when we play really bad, he usually gets a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Most games from the.
There was something dodgy, but I reckon Wolfie put the wrong score up because it was out of the blue, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
Well, you question the tech that goes on behind FFTV, mate.
Rather than questioning the chat like we normally do, but we'll question Wolfie this time. But yeah, overall, it wasn't a bad run out. We saw some really good positives. That first 20 minutes was decent, and I kind of felt they scored against the run of play, and it kind of knocked us for the rest of our first half. But there were good spells. Some players didn't really do as much as they could have done. I've got excuses for other players, and I think you were harsh on a couple, but we'll get into the individual players, like I said. Overall, like I said, decent result. They're a better team than we've given them credit for. You can see Angeball in action. You saw moments of it yesterday. We saw the possession. We saw the high press. We saw the players getting into position. We saw how the inverted fullbacks work. It was a lot of positive signs, So I've said, look, we've got to treat first. I know it's hard to say, but first 4 or 5 games under Ange as a kind of pre-season for him. It's too much to expect him to come in and just get his philosophy into the players. But we saw signs yesterday, and that was something that we hadn't seen at all last season. So it was really positive. I'm going to go off that. The result wasn't great, but the performance was what I wanted, and I thought performance was closer to what we're going to get going forward from Ange. But go on, you guys take over, whoever wants to jump in.
Go on, he's in second. Go on, Ben, with your apparently bushwhacker haircut, everyone's saying in the chat.
Testing. I hope you can all hear me well. For those saying, have I left Wolves FC. I have not. I'm just on holiday. Do you know what? I want to state first, because I've seen that a lot of the fan base is split. And I'm also in Split in Croatia. But a lot of the fan base is split. And did you like that? Did you like that dad joke?
Waiting all day to say that.
Did you like that dad joke? Look, I want to say I'm completely with the manager. I think it's far too early to be saying that he needs to go. The first game was kind of a free hit, and he implemented the same tactics as what Nuno was doing. We shouldn't have lost the cup game. But then yesterday, I thought we started to see a bit of Angeball. I mean, the first half was really exciting. The attacking play, some of the 1-2 passing as well. Douglas Luiz was fantastic. We were so progressive. He's clearly learnt from the mistake of the players who weren't great in the cup game. So, Bolly didn't get a chance. Yates didn't get a chance. I put zero blame on the manager yesterday. I think give him a few more training sessions, and we've actually got the right squad to follow this through. I do agree with Ezzo that it was a shame not to see Hutchinson, because if Hutchinson's not going to get to play in the Premier League, well, we know he's not in the Europa squad. So I thought he was really good in the cup match. So it was a shame not to see him, but I was quite happy with yesterday's performance. Obviously, a draw is never what anybody wants, but we saw from the substitutions. It was interesting because I was watching it on a channel over here in Croatia, and the commentator was saying that you either play for a draw now and try not to risk losing, or you go all out for the win and effectively risk losing. And about 30 seconds later, Ange put a load of attacking subs on. So I was quite happy with that, because I always think you should go out and try to get the full 3 points. And I think that's what Ange did. So, look, give him more time with the team, and I think we'll be fine. I was pretty happy with what I saw, to be honest.
Just before I bring you in, and I just gotta, I really don't want to do this, but I told him my words, because, we all know your ego. But shout out to Phil from Nottingham, big count on Twitter. He sent me a message. He said, send my respect and deepest appreciation to Ant, who is now the only remaining FFTV bod to have the balls to call out this crap manager we have. So look at his smile. Smile. So shout out to Phil. If you're on Twitter, make sure you're following him. Yeah, and over to you, mate. Over to you.
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint Phil, but you all know my feelings about disappointment. I don't need to go on about that again. But I also like to think I'm a fair person. I want him to succeed. I don't think he will, but I want him to. So I want to give him every chance. So I'm not. This was his last freebie, right? This was his last freebie. From now on in, I'm going to judge him as our manager, because he has only been in a short time. There were certainly without doubt, there were some positives from yesterday's game. I'm not ready to go Ange in just yet, but I'm willing to give him from now on. So, okay, so the next game, I will judge him as a manager. I don't actually think, although I was very disappointed with yesterday's result with Forest, we always want to win. I don't think it was a bad result. Burnley are not. I mean, last season, in 46 games, they let in 30 goals. So I know it's a lower standard, obviously, but it shows that they know how to defend. They know how to be organised, and I think they've proven that in the Premier League this season already. They're very much like we were last season. Defense, and the occasional break. They obviously haven't got the attacking force that we had, so they're not going to do what we've done. But nevertheless, defensively, I think they're a solid outfit. From the Forest point of view, it's difficult for me to say, because, like I say, I'm not judging Ange yet, so I can't say too much. But when we go on to individual players, then I've got some things to say. But I don't know if you want me to start with that, or whether you want. Well,
can I just start with Phil's just messaged back? He's like, "Oh, FFS, he's wobbling now. He's wobbling."
No, Phil, I'm not wobbling. What I don't want to do is be seen as one of these people that doesn't like somebody and they will stick to that no matter what, even if the evidence is against it. And I don't want to be seen as somebody that's jumped on him too quick. Give him a chance. Now, I've always said I'm not judging him on this season. I'm judging him on last season. That's the most recent season that I can judge him on. And he was shite. He was a disgrace as a manager. See, you've got me going now, haven't you? You've got me saying it.
He did win the Europa,
I'm just
though.
a messenger, man. I've got capital letters ant, but covering face emoji and laughing, man. So I don't know. I think you've heard.
As I've said, I'm not going to judge him on what's gone so far, but from the next match, I will judge him as a manager. I can't be fairer than that, can I? I've given it, chance to get his feet under the table. Then, so we'll see. We'll see. As for his game plan, I agree with people that saying he brought on the subs too late. I think a lot of us could see early on what needed doing. Like Ez, I cannot understand why Hutchinson wasn't put on from the front and said, work your balls off, lad, because you're not playing in midweek. Absolutely work your balls off.
Yeah.
Chase everything, take people on, do what you want to do. Okay. That was disappointing because I don't think Endoy's been that great. I know everybody loves him because he's had a couple of assists and a goal, but I don't think Endoy's been that great. And I thought yesterday he was pretty poor. I think he should have come off earlier.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
So we are getting onto the players then. Bakwa, again, I'm certainly not judging him.
Just before you get onto the players, let's go a couple of super chats. Do those and then we'll get onto the players. Quick reminder, guys, make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Already over 500 in here, but we're sitting on 107 likes. So not bad, not great. Let's get it to 200. A bit like yesterday's performance. Just with the £5 says, evening, gents. With some love hearts, I'm quite concerned that we will never win another match. Just remember what our owner told us. At the end of the day, we always win. We've won one game since that, so just remember that. Shout out to you, Jess. Big up to Joe Chim, who says, my friend Jim the Greek wants Yates to Real Madrid.
Take him.
Get me in
Jimmy
touch
the
with
Greek.
him. Yeah.
I'll drive him to the airport for you.
I mean, you'll come back, take your holiday short, Ben, and everything. So shout out to you for the 25.
Genuinely.
Big up to Chris with the £2. He goes, after 1 week in, I'm more than happy with everything, says Chris. A nice objective opinion. I like it. And like Phil and Andy, who's in the chat. And Chris says again, Ant's giving him 1 week. LOL.
See, people like to take words and twist them, don't they? I said I'm not judging him on what he's done. I'm judging him on his last season at Spurs. And that was terribly. Finished 17th, lost 22 games out of 38.
Yeah, but he won that as well.
But I was prepared to say it's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm not. It's a new dawn, a new day. Yeah. I'm willing to give him a chat. He's had his little honeymoon period, if you like. So I would start judging him from now on. That's fair, isn't it? That's fair.
Yeah, but you're kind of a bit of a hypocrite, mate.
But am I? In what way?
Well, when Nuno came in, you didn't want Nuno.
I don't like it. I can't judge him on what he did at another club. All I can judge him on is what he does at my club.
Can I ask you a question then? Why do you employ a manager?
Understand what he's saying
because of his previous record, don't you? That's what you judge him on. That's his previous
record.
But
clearly they employed him because he won the Europa League. Because they came out and said he wants trophies. The club wants trophies.
I can only judge him on what he does at my club, and I can't look at what he did.
No, I'm not asking anybody else to agree with me. I'm just saying that's my standard.
Now, my point here is, and if we go back to Nuno, you didn't really want him when he came through the door. You said, look what he did at Spurs, very defensive manager.
I said he was a defensive coach. Was I wrong?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but you did use what he did at Spurs as a barometer. He did nothing at Spurs. He did a lot more at Forest than he did at Spurs. I'm not Ange's...
sorry, I didn't say that about Spurs. I said at Spurs, he was managed a month, and then a month later they sacked him. It was ridiculous. I never said I'm judging him on that. I was judging him on what he did at Wolves, which was produced some great teams, but fell off and were boring. And not only that, I was judging him on the way I see him play football, and I was 100% correct.
The thing is, though,
if you feel bad about it,
if you went all the way back to Brian Clough, didn't he have an awful time with Leeds before he joined Forest?
So you're equating Nuno's time at Tottenham.
I'm not equating anything. But you're saying
he'd already won the league title. He'd already won the league title before he went to Leeds.
Yeah, but you're saying about the season before. Well, if you look at Brian Clough, he had an awful season.
44 days. He didn't have a season. He had 44 days.
So what? It's the same thing.
Well, that's not a season, is it? You can't judge somebody on 44 days when they were previously good. They went to a toxic club where all the players absolutely hated him, and he was a chairman that only hired him in the first place so he could sack him. You can't compare that. That was a stitch up. So your point's kind of weird.
I get what he's trying to say within the point. I get what he's trying to say within the point. It's like, I don't know, Marco Silva was crap, wasn't he, when he was at Watford? And he did a crap job at Everton. And then if you get the club that fits, it can work.
It's a different team.
Have I not said I'm going to give him a chance? Have I not said that?
Yeah, but you're basically giving him Wednesday, bro.
No. Because what I said, no. The point I was trying to make is I'll start judging him as a manager from then. That's fair enough.
All right, fine.
Whether he's good or whether you're assuming he's going to be bad. I'm not.
Aren't you?
So in fact, I'm more supportive than you if you look at it in that respect.
So you think he's going to work out?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
No. Not what you hope. What you think. Well, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think he works out?
I actually know it won't. I actually know it won't work out. I'm sitting. You know, I can't. You know, I don't want anything bad to happen to my club, so I'm not going to sit here and say I hope he fails to prove me right, because I don't. I hope he succeeds to prove me wrong. But he ain't going to, because he's a shit manager.
Phil, I think you've still got him on side, mate. I think he's still one of you. Big up to McPhee with the £5. He goes, just tuned in now, a bit behind the live stream. Big up to you, McPhee. Thanks for the content as ever, chaps. You're more than welcome, bro. Thank you for tuning in and for your support and the £5. We do appreciate it. Here's a Phil acolyte. Actually, Andy is the founding father of Ange out with the 199. He goes, Ange, leave my club, you noob. Go back to China. China?
He wasn't from China.
By the way, everybody goes on about him winning the J League. Have you actually seen his record in the J League? He finished 9th, 1st, and then 12th. You know,
he won it though.
Yeah. So let's hope we get him in a good year.
Well, maybe. You know, he said season 3 is better than season 2. So let's see what that says. Shout out to you, Andy. You even spelled everything right. So I know you're angry, Andy. Big up to Andrew Sharky himself with the 37 months. Yeah, absolute legend. As he's doing some world tours, trying to go on boys' weekends away, man. Didn't invite us. And big up to Floyd with the 29 months. Shout out to you, Floyd. Okay, guys, get those likes up. We're 4 away from 150. We got nearly 600 in the house. Before we start on the play, let's just deal with this Ange discussion, okay? Screw you, Andy. It does feel like it is a bit split. Now, I don't mind what people's opinions are of Ange, because we always encourage everyone to have their own opinion and don't try and be influenced by others. Unless, of course, it's me. Don't listen to Ant, right? But
definitely don't listen to him.
Exactly.
No, I mean you.
Or me.
Yeah.
I didn't give Neco Williams a 5 point.
I have
a chat in a second. Go on, you carry on. Finish what you're saying.
I've never been wrong about anything.
I'm not saying you've been wrong about anything. I'm just saying your opinion is your opinion. Not everybody in the chat shouldn't jump on your opinion like they're scared of you saying something. Who's scared of Wolfie, man? He's a pussycat. And I know all these YouTubers out there are can't wait to get him on the show when we've had a bad result. But to be honest, man, he's one of the nicest guys I've met. So he comes across the way he does on stream. But you guys in the chat don't have to go along with everything he says as well. Have your own opinions, yeah?
and he wears ladies' knickers when he's presenting.
And don't listen to him. But carry on.
I forgot what I was going to say, though.
You're on about
the Ange discussion, right? I'm saying, like, I think everyone's obviously entitled to their opinion, feel how you want about him, but I do feel, this is my perception of it, that there's a lot of ants in the house, right? Because I think a lot of people have judged him on what he did at Spurs rather than what he's done or doing at Forest. Yeah, that was crazy, Jabba, by the way. And Jabba, I've sorted my lights out. I know they were giving you some OCD epilepsy on the earlier video. But I like Ez's stance on it. I gotta be honest. I like Ez's stance on it. He says he's gonna judge him. He's gonna judge him on what he's done at Forest. So if those opinions that are coming out that are saying he was crap at Swansea, crap at Arsenal, crap at Burnley, I hear it.
Isn't that what I said? I said I'm going to judge him as a football manager from this coming week.
No, and if you rewind back,
I said I'm going to judge him as a football manager from this coming week.
Yeah, but if you rewind back to what you did say, your kind of sample element is what you saw of him
last season. last
Yeah.
season. Yeah. I mean, that was your whole point. Literally your whole entire point.
Yeah. I have judged him on what his previous work, which is what most people do.
Now you're
But
contradicting
as he's the
yourself.
Forest manager, I'm going to give him a chance. I can't say fairer than that. I don't know what you
So
want
you
from
can
me.
accept that you
You
are
want me to become a
contradicting
happy
yourself.
clapper and sit here and say he's going to be brilliant?
I'm
he's
not
going to do
saying that, man. I'm just saying acknowledge
Pick a
you're
side.
contradicting yourself.
Pick a
I'm
side.
not.
Pick a side.
I don't need to pick a side. I'm on the fence. That's my fucking MO, mate.
Problem. That's your problem. You're on the fence every week.
First honest thing you said.
Anyway, but
Come on, get on with the show.
all right, the point, can I
Picking
get
on
the
me.
question point bit that we got to do? But my point here is, I don't think how can I explain this? When a manager comes in these pretense, I don't think it ever ends up working out, if I'm honest with you, because I think people, once they, put their flag to them, what's the saying? Flag to the mast or whatever it is.
Yeah, tie your mask to a pole, innit? Or something like that.
Whatever, yeah, that thing, right? I think they're very hard to be swayed the other way and vice versa. You know the saying, man, like, come on.
I don't know
Pin your mask
Anyway.
to the pole.
I don't know
Pin your
what
mask
What did I
to the
say?
pole.
Tie your mask to a pole.
You
Maybe
said-
put it to
you
the mask.
said-
That's it.
you said put your Zorro mask near a pole. I was like, what's this stream turned
No.
into, man? What has this stream turned into?
Anyway, my point is, do you ever really see it fully turn around if it starts with this pretense? That's my worry about this whole thing. Now your colours to the mask. Is it
That's all.
master?
That's
That's
it.
it. Nail
That's
colours
it.
to the
Yeah,
mask.
mask,
To the mask.
Is
Yeah.
it master or mask?
No, it's mask.
No,
yeah.
it's to the mask. Pin your colours
First
to the
of
mask.
all, it's not mast, it's mast. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
mask. It's definitely
Mask.
mask.
Not
I'm trying to
mask.
speak proper English.
Yeah, that's
Pin
some
your
like
colours to the
London-
mask.
some
It is
like
the mask.
London
Yeah,
Man
you
United
were
fanning.
nearly there. You were nearly there.
Yeah, on
Anyway.
a ship. On a ship. The mast.
And anyway, right? Yeah, that's what. But he said master. I was like, that's what confused me. All right, can we continue? It's a sailor thing. Yeah, the sailor thing. But do you think that this
Everybody loves
just
a
feels
sailor.
like it's doomed? Ben, what's your say on this? Do you feel like it's doomed, or can this be turned around? Like, are we fickle enough that a few wins turns the boat? I see, I've linked it back into boats and stuff, and puts
I
the
mean,
ship
look.
back on course.
Look, for me, the ship hasn't sailed yet. I think Ange has had a lot of unfair negativity since he joined, and I think he mentioned it to one of the interviewers
Yes.
as well. There's been negativity around this appointment before he'd even stepped foot in the City ground, which I think is highly unfair. We've got to give him a chance. For me, it's as simple as he needs more time. He needs more time to implement his tactics, his so-called Angeball. Look, we didn't lose yesterday. I think if we'd lost yesterday, there would have been some more annoyance and probably more fans would start to sway to not being happy. But I don't know. I just feel like we've got to give him a chance. We've got to get behind the manager. If the crowd aren't behind the manager and aren't behind the team when they come back to the City ground, then it really will be a sorry show. So I'm going to back him 100% until I see something which I don't like. But at the moment, I thought yesterday was not too bad considering things.
Okay, what are you lot saying?
What we saying?
No,
What about?
I kind of lost interest, if I'm honest.
What's the?
Well, it's such a crap subject, isn't it? I mean, what you asked.
You say it's a crap subject, but that's what the fan base is talking about, bro. Like, I'm
Well,
sorry.
Simple fact is you've got the down to earth, analytical, well-rounded, high ball knowledge Forest fans who say, let's look at his previous employment and see how he's done. Oh dear, that's a little worrying. And then you've got the happy clappers who will cheer on a piece of dog shit if you put a Forest manager's coat on.
Yeah,
It's simple.
but there is also a middle ground, and that's where
Yeah.
hopefully I'm on the
Which
middle
you just
ground.
explained in your previous
I'm
comment.
just kidding, mate.
But
You don't have to,
there
take
are-
it
there
ser-
are
you don't have
that
to come with a rational argument against it.
But let's be fair, when Nuno came in, there was that band that didn't want Cooper gone, and it took them a long time for Nuno to get that, even at home support from the fans. It was a long time before they started chanting Nuno's name. So it will take time. I think that for what I think the plan this season is just to win Europa, get into Champions League next season. By hook or by crook, if we can't do it with our league position, it's got to be through winning Europa. And I think that's why, like I said, I think we've jumped a stage. Nuno probably would have got us here, but Nuno burnt his own bridges. And then after that, he's got no leg to stand on. So once that decision's been made, and I go back to say, I think Ange was kind of like brought in ahead of schedule, and he was one of the few that was openly available. There's no, we're not going to have to pay any compensation to any other clubs or anything like that. And trust me, if we go 10 games without a result from Ange, do you think Mr. M's going to keep him in situ? I don't think so, regardless of anything. So I don't think he's in there and his job is safe, but we've got to kind of, as fans, as much as we can get behind him, we have to get behind the manager who's in place, surely. We can't knock him straight away. And he's only been in for a few games. But Arsenal game, I'm not going to give him any flack on that. And the last 2 games, you can see his formations or his style of play coming into play. So you got to give it a few more games. But
that's a good point, actually. Sorry to interrupt you. That's a good point from Peter, because there was points at the end of Nuno's career with us where we weren't even getting a single shot, let alone a shot on target. And Peter's saying that we had 12 shots on target yesterday. So I think it'll work out. I think
we need to score goals. I'm not going to bow down to this stats bollocks. We need to score goals. We need to win games. But I do agree.
Score goals, you have to have shots on target.
3 months, Nuno was terrible, and the football was terrible as well. I agree 100% with that. And I did enjoy yesterday's game a lot more than most Nuno games.
Yeah. But I think the point is, you knew that.
We knew that, didn't we?
We flip-flopped about 10 times in the first 26 minutes.
Yeah, but we knew that. But that's no good if the next game you lose 6-0.
Happy with you, mate.
Yeah, but you got to put shots on target to be able to even have a chance of scoring goals. We weren't even doing that.
Show me goals and show me wins, and I'll be happy, mate.
There you go. Chris with the £10. He says, "Hello, gents. Sorry to say, I'm definitely Ange out. Just don't trust him with our club. By the way, Wolfie, get down to De La Paix Golf in Northampton. I'll pay for the round and drinks, mate. Mate, I will be there, but I'm a fair weather golfer. And you're not invited in, so you
can't blame you for that, mate.
you just sit there. But yeah, I'm tempted to go Portugal, the boys. I need a golfing weekend away. I really do. Chris, you're invited. You're not invited to that either.
I'm not playing fucking golf. That's a golf for middle class, middle-aged twats, isn't it? Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, you're too old for that middle class, middle-aged bit.
Probably, yeah.
Not the elderly. Not the people. Not the people who have had a bus pass for 30 years.
Shout out to you, Chris, for the £10 there. We will definitely have a round, mate. Frederick with the 65 says Ange wants to play positive football and hopes it works. Tired of defensive. I hear that. That's like even Ange, even Ant can't deny it's more entertaining to watch attacking football. I hear it, but you still have to get the results. Is the bottom line. Hit the likes. Make sure you're subscribed. Ez has invited on a special guest, so I'm gonna bring Cash up. Let's do that now, and there we go. Cash, what are you saying, bro? We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Get your mic on.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Callaway golf hat on, and Ange just called him a twat.
And he's got the Callaway, yeah. Still can't hear you.
Still can't hear you.
Oh, Cash.
You're
doing an ant now. You're doing an ant
on his golf hat. Are you going to comment on his golf hat? Yeah, go out and come back.
You need the toilet. Is that what he's saying?
He wants Ange out that way.
Well, he's an Ange hater. You like him, man. You like this one.
Yeah, jump out, jump back in, mate. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I was just gonna say, okay, so I want to touch on the players. I want to start Zinchenko because I was getting messages from a few of you boys saying you were harsh on him just because you don't like him and all that and what have you. I never said he had a bad game. I just blame him for the goal.
You gave him a 4.
You gave him a 4.
Because we would have won if he didn't.
You gave Morata a 6.
Yeah.
Are you
Morata was all right.
Do you want to go in on him first?
Stunk. He stunk.
He was all right yesterday, Morata.
No, Morata wasn't that bad. No.
I don't know who you're watching, you guys, but he was terrible.
He wasn't terrible.
Morata wasn't bad for Morata.
For Morata, he was in the 2-man.
Drunk Irishman.
Chat, why was Morato good for Morato? Just quick.
It's
Why
very
Zinchenko.
You are definitely qualifying that.
I'm not qualifying nothing,
I
man.
agree. For Morato, he was good. For Morato,
Can you hear me now, boys and girls?
We can hear you, mate. We can
There
hear
you
you.
go.
yes.
Sorry, NVIDIA broadcast. Look, I don't do this live streaming nonsense or any of this, so yeah, it's
You
way
did
beyond my
the other
pay grade.
day.
And I put my
Are you
stupid
in the
golf
golf
hat on
seller?
because he was talking about stupid golf, so that's the reason I put it on. That's the only reason I put it on. Yeah, boys. Oh, I so enjoyed watching Forest last year, but not in. Well, that's wrong. Loving Forest results, not necessarily watching Forest. So
Yeah.
But,
Are you a Forest fan?
no, I don't. I'm not a fan. Don't do football.
he's
I've worked.
I thought that you
Okay.
texted something there.
So now, hold on. I've worked in football for about 25 years. I've coached all over the world. I've been a sports agent. I've done all sorts in football. I do coaching licenses. Worked for the Chinese government, giving those idiots over there coaching licenses. I've worked, all over the place. I hate football. I say it on my channel all the time. I've done too much in
You're in the
football.
right place.
I'm not a fan of anyone's team. I'm here to slag off everyone equally and say what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Because there's so much nonsense that people talk and they're wrong, and you're going, one of the big things that I harp on about is because we all do this, right? We judge players by the name on the back of the shirt. If we see a striker, I'll take a classic example last season, Darwin Núñez takes a shot, we automatically assume he's missed. So we're automatically criticizing the player. So when you're talking about Ange, you automatically start criticizing Ange on what all of his past history is, instead of looking at what he's doing currently in that little box window. And if you're doing a proper sports analysis of him, you've got to give him 10 games. Now, I can predict what's probably going to happen in those 10 games based on what he's already done, but I don't want to go into it with an already preconception of slagging him off until about those 10 games. Then I can slag him off and make my prediction of what I said was going to happen is going to happen. And I think he'll be fired by then. But
So talk to us about go on there, sir.
No, I was going to say the reason I wanted to get Cash on is because I remember watching some of your shows a couple of weeks ago, and you were dead against this appointment of Ange. You thought it was probably the worst one we could have got in. I just want to know your thinking behind that and what your reasoning was.
Because I wanted Forest to make Champions League football, and I wanted them to go on and batter people in Europe. And I don't think it's going to happen now. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, I think you might have a chance at a trophy. But okay, so there's lots of different things in football, and no one really talks about this, is because everything in football's here and now. But you've also got next year coming up as well. And if you're chopping and changing managers so often, next year, you don't know what's happening. And the worst thing you can have, if you're not one of the top 6 clubs, is uncertainty in your club. Because then players don't want to come to you. You don't know who's going to be there. Who's the man? Is the owner going to fire the manager? Oh, I'm only coming for the manager. Is he going to fire him? And now what am I going to do? So you don't want that uncertainty if you want to build a club that's going to get into the Champions League, which I wanted Forest so bad he didn't do. I thought that you were going to do it. You go watch my video. I thought you were doing it. And I'm not normally I'm not wrong, like, because I don't speak with my heart. I speak with what I'm seeing. And I was wrong. I speak with my heart. But if you want Forest to actually start climbing and being one of those top spots, you can't be doing this. I want to win the trophy this year, so I'm getting the manager in to do it this year, because then all of a sudden you're back at square one next year. I'll tell you, there's a club that's very, very bad at the footballs that does this. They're called Manchester United. Mm-hmm. And that's what they've been doing for the last 8 years, 10 years. And then you get into this little death spiral and you can't recover as a football club, no matter how much money you throw at it. So it's, to me, I was like, I wouldn't have had him. I just wouldn't have had him.
So, like, talk us about what your kind of analysis is on him when it comes to Nuno, because obviously we're not as objective. Because we're looking at he's through the door, you kind of got to back your boy kind of scenario. But and then we get the opposite analysis from the majority of the Spurs fan base. They're like, good luck, 22 losses, no organization, blah, blah, blah. And that's emotional as well. Like, as an objective person, Cash, like, where have you kind of got all this placed?
But first off, they're Spurs fans, so they really have got bad choices, right? So we don't really listen to what they're saying anyway. Okay. You've got to think about, right, so when you're coaching and you're managing, there's a couple of, the only thing that matters is what your players are thinking of you. The Spurs players gave up on him. Okay, they didn't for the Tottenham when Ange came into the Premier League. Were top of the league. What for the first 6 games or was it 10 games? They were top of the league, weren't they? Yeah, they were doing absolutely fantastic. They got a bunch of injuries and the wheels fell off the bus. And one of the other things that happened is the media got onto the bandwagon of Angeball, look, oh, bad line and all this. But he was playing a certain way based on Mickey van der Ven, who's going to go to Real Madrid. The guy's a great football player, right? And he was able to do things because he had certain personnel. Now, that's my only sort of snapshot of watching him. But after 10 games, I want to see, because he might not be as bad as Ruben Amorim and not change his system. He knows he had the players at Tottenham. They just weren't fit. So he didn't want to change his system because he knows if I've got everybody and I'm ready to go, I can compete and win. Does he know what he's got at Forest yet? And he'll know, right, okay, I've got to play this way so I can compete and win. Because if you heard all his press conferences, he had something like 12 injuries. He could never put his first team out. To me, it's just an excuse, right? I don't like that because I've got to adapt to what the players I've got. But until he can go through that Forest side and go, right, this is what I want, and I know I can play my way doing this, and my way might not necessarily be the same way as Spurs, by the way, or the same way, because the high line might be only a high line by 15 yards and not by 25 yards because he knows he hasn't got the personnel to do it. Or he might be doing a little modified chink 3 at the back because I can let one fullback go, because when we push high, the only quick player I've got is me my right back, and my right back's going to get back in cover, but I really want my right back to attack, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. So I've got to give him time to adjust to see what he's doing. And if he doesn't adjust, and he just goes, wee, you're in trouble.
So do you think it's just gonna be a car crash?
No, I think you're gonna batter someone because I think that's what he's got in his locker. I think you're gonna there'll be a 4 or 5-0 game. You'll beat up on someone you're not supposed to, and then you're gonna lose to a couple of people you're not supposed to. But that's the problem. It's gonna be this, and what you want is balance, and that's what Nuno had. You just had balance, and then you got a little bit higher. Then you had balance, and you got a little bit higher, balance, and a little bit higher. And he's just going to be doing this, unless I'm wrong. But I don't really like making assumptions like that. But with him, I'm pretty convinced. I'm going to give him 10 games until I, really slate him and say, right, this is exactly what's going to happen. But I don't think your owner will give him 10 games if he loses 7 of those.
All right, to try and counter what you're saying. So if you're doing this 10-game rule, and you were assessing him after 10 games when he joined Spurs,
no. Oh, yeah. See, that's that. Okay, so it's not as easy as that. So when you're doing proper sports analytics, first off, you wouldn't even be doing it 10 games because there's all sorts of rules involved in that. Is it a home game? So are you most likely to win a home game?
More so than an away,
Yeah, so you can't really judge home game, you see? So it gets really sort of complicated. You know, when they hear these idiots talk about the new manager bounce, right? There's no such thing in football. There's no such thing. Right?
There is to us. There is to us.
There's no such thing. What it's done is they've statistically analysed it. They can fire the guy at the right time. They can play a home game, and that home game is going to be an easy win for them. They're more statistically likely to win at home and against that team because they're better than them. And we got a new manager bounce. No, it's not. Idiots.
Yeah, we haven't had one with our last 2, mate. So
I've been telling them it for years. I've pulled out the statistics. I've shown them the proof, the facts. They won't have it. No manager bounce. No.
I thought you didn't care about statistics, Anne. I thought you didn't care about statistics.
Oh, you will after I'm
How
finished
many
with
times
you.
have I told you I'll use them when it suits my narrative? Bloody hell.
Exactly. Yeah, when it suits your agenda.
That's the whole point of statistics. You've got to. So one of the things in sports analytics, like I was yelling at the idiots at Barcelona about this on one of their courses, the data will lie to you. It will lie to you. If you're looking for this to be the answer, that will be the answer. If you're looking for that to be the answer, that will be the answer. You have to really know what you're looking at, and you can get bogged down so quick. And it'll just be like, I don't know, yes, throw into the new corners. Like, all right. But yeah, I'm really worried for Forest. I don't want them in a relegation battle down there with Wolves and Man United.
You think it's potentially that bad?
Give me 10 games. I'll tell you after 10 games. Because all right now is all my hypothetical thinking of what I perceive you've got as a football team. But I don't know how good some of your new signings are because I'm injured right now. Don't laugh, right? I can tell you I'll tell you the full story. I fell over the hose pipe. Okay. Right. But I've got so many football injuries and so many football problems. I haven't been able to move. And I mean, I can't put any weight on my feet. I've been like for almost 2 weeks not being able to walk, so I'm not up to date like as I would be on. I haven't even looked at the Burnley game with you guys yet. If you look on my channel and you see how many videos I normally post, I cover every game. I posted 2 this weekend, and that's been a struggle for me to get that done. And I haven't really sort of had the time to, because I want to dig into this, because there's a couple of teams that I like over time. Forest's one of them. My mate, if you're as old as I am, his name's Jimmy, and he chose his football team by which team he finished in the sticker album. Okay, everyone was sporting all these teams, and he finished, and his team was Nottingham Forest. And when I was a kid, I'd never heard of Nottingham Forest. Like who's that? Yeah, so that's my introduction to Nottingham Forest. So there's always been like this thing when I followed them in the background. I don't support football teams, remember that. So just the thing is though, the problem. See, this is because I've always got to think like 4 or 5 steps ahead, right? So think of this: your manager's ruthless. He's going to fire him. Right, he's going to fire Ange. Then what happens?
We get another one.
The next big thing. We'll go for the next big thing.
Okay, but then what happens? So what I mean by that is you fire the manager. The players that you know that he managed to keep, well, did a great job of keeping your boy in the transfer window. I can't remember his name when he had him in a hostage
I'm
video.
not so sure that was such a
Gibbs
great
White.
thing, by the way. And we're not so sure that was such a great thing.
I think it was because it's not about Gibbs White. Gibbs White's going to leave anyway. Okay,
Yeah,
he'll end up
it's
leaving.
about the statement.
On the optics, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's about.
Don't come and try and bully us. Yeah,
100%. Yeah. Basically, he's just told everybody, you know what, you don't come, you do the right thing, and you stop all this nonsense, because there's so much dirty mafia nonsense behind the scenes in football. What he's basically done is said, "Good luck, boys."
Not his mate, by the way.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's not his mate. Yeah,
He's not firing Ange. That's his mate. You know what? It's his best mate until he loses a couple of games. I'm telling you that.
That's it.
If he loses in Europe, I guarantee. If he starts losing in Europe, like I honestly think he'll give him a pass if he loses in the Premier League. If he starts losing games in Europe, watch.
The thing is, Cash, that is such a dangerous game to play, because, in all honesty, any manager can win a cup. You know, on the day, any team can beat any other team. You've seen lower league teams beat Premier League teams. On the day, anything can happen. So there's a large degree of luck in that respect. So to put your money on a manager may be lucky to win, and they weren't that great in the cup last season, by the way. The final, they stunk the place out. Okay, they were playing.
They also got to the semis, man. They got to the semis.
They played a shit team in the final, an absolutely dire team in the final. So they had a fair degree of luck to get that cup, and any manager could do that. Look at Wigan when they got relegated with what's his name. So to hire a manager on that, I think, is not good policy. It's like saying, well, we don't care what happens in the Premier League because he might win the cup because he's won it before.
Yep.
Not good for me, that. Not good.
But that's my problem, is because you know I'm talking about the sustainability. You keep challenging for, you get into the top 6, then into the top 4, and you get that balance and stability. You need that in football, because if you look
Cash, sorry to interrupt you. The thing is,
if
your team is good enough to consistently win in the consistently finish in the top 6 or 8, then you've got a team that's good enough to win cups. It shouldn't be the other way around. Let's try and win a cup. No, you build the team that's good enough to compete at the top level, and they will win things. Might not win the league, but they've got 3 other cups to go for.
Okay, 2 counters to this conversation, right? Firstly, to be sustainable in the top 6, I think it's more now about finance and what they're doing off the field, PSR, and a lot of that, I think, is now involved. We've seen it with Leicester recently. You've seen Villa going at 96% spend just to go, bust to try and get the Champions League, so to speak. So I think that's something that needs to be taken into account as well. The other thing I would say is the hire and fire thing, and I think Chris has put super chat in here. Shout out to Chris for the £2, because we've been firing managers for 8 years. That did get us promoted. The amount of managers.
Chelsea, that was Chelsea's model.
It's a Chelsea model, isn't it? Yeah.
You succeed in your first season, or you go.
Yeah, so
they did all right. Highest honours of any football club in the last 20 years. They did all right.
Exactly. So
Don't
Abramovich
stick with a bad manager because you don't want to rock the boat. That's a terrible idea.
Mhm.
If you've got a bad manager, it's a
100%.
bad manager. Get rid.
You should be telling that to Man United. But there is a little bit there is a little bit more of a caveat with that as well. So when you're playing in Europe, and you can look at this for all the teams that have done it recently, or in the Champions League especially.
Yeah.
Newcastle made the Champions League. The year after, they were absolutely a dross because it takes such an effort. It's not just logistically; it's all of their players. The squad has to be massive to be able to deal with that. Okay, Aston Villa felt the same repercussions from it, and the league form all suffers. So all of this is hugely important. If you don't have this stable base of all your players on board and you're already, there's a lot more work to do to go forward than, okay, yeah, I know the championships are long, it's a grog. It is a slog down there in the championship, but there's a massive difference when you're in the Premier League because you'll have idiots. They're called, like, last name's normally Neville, and they'll be saying some stuff on TV, and all your family will be getting on your back about it because they didn't really know what you did in the championship, if you lost or you won or you did whatever. But now the pressure ramps up and the pressure ramps up and the pressure ramps up, and all of a sudden that comes into the into the fan base, that gets onto the players, that gets onto the coach, and then and look at the discussions you're having, which you wouldn't have ever had in the championship. Right now, you'll all just be going, yeah, we trust him. Who cares? Next. Woohoo, let's go. That's what everyone would be saying.
Interesting. So, be a good idea then, Cash, bring you back after 10 games. Kind of, if you're up for it, and see what your thoughts are about that. I think that'd be really good to do. But something you mentioned about the 10 games, like you said, like home and away and things like that. With Ange having 4 away games first, are you just looking at league games, or are you taking into account cup games and European games, etc.?
Well, I'll probably look at everything, and it's not so much necessarily the results. It is the playing style. Are the players adopting it? Are they going for it? Are they actually getting into the system? Because if you look at, like, a classic example is United. None of their players are playing that system. By the way, when you hear people saying system, let's just talk the truth. If I ask all of you right now, what's the difference between a formation, shape, system? Do you know?
You're about to make yourself Anne's best friend. I can tell you that much.
Right, because
I don't believe in any of them.
right. Because first off, there is a difference between all of them, and then after we get to system, then we've got roles and responsibilities on top of that. So if they aren't going through, if they're not having their formation isn't correct, then their shape's not right. First off, they can't pass the ball. Then if they don't have a system, then we're all over the place. So if none of that is coming out in any of these next 10 games, I'm going to go, well, the players don't believe in him and he'll be gone.
Cash, on that, can I just ask one interesting question? How long, in your estimation, does it take for a new set of players to adapt to a new manager, where you've got this extreme, where you're going from this compact, defensive, organized setup that we had at Nuno to, some would argue, the utter polar opposite? It's not like we've taken, say, a mid-step to, I don't know, Marco Silva or something. It's gone from one extreme to the other. Does that play into it at all? Because everything's going to be quite foreign to what they're used to under Nuno.
It doesn't really matter. Okay, so here's the honest truth, because everyone has just talked, quite frankly, bollocks all the time. It comes down to the players and whether or not they can understand. They can understand the system and they can get behind it because they've done that. So they show that they're responsible. They've shown that they can listen, and they've shown that they can do certain things. Okay, now it's just, do they have the skill sets to adapt? I've never had the position triangle up front before, and I used to have 4 squares. Now I've got to put triangles up there, and I've only got squares. So I've got to move these players out the way of these squares and try to make them triangles or get triangles in to do that job. Okay, if he has all of those pieces of the puzzle, it might be surprising in what he does.
Is it? If the players can't adapt, if they're physically incapable or technically incapable of adapting to a manager's system, isn't it incumbent upon the manager to change his system to suit the players?
In my opinion, 100%. But again, you've got to understand, I'd say 99% of coaches that I've coached with or against or that can't change their system because honestly, they don't know how.
This is my fear.
They don't know how. Like, if you try explaining to people like how to coach a flat back 4, they think it's a flat back 4 that's playing an offside trap. I'm not going to go, no, that's not a flat back 4. What are you talking about? And it takes a long time to learn a new system because you have to go out and do what I did for many years coaching. Lose. You have to lose. You're going to lose.
Oh, we'll do that.
You're gonna go. Why is this formation not working? I read the book. I've done the coaching license, and it's not working. Why? And you have to learn it. And some of these people don't have a chance to learn it because they're in ridiculous jobs that they should never have. And they were just, thrown into it, and they think that they can do it. They can't. Ange has learned it. He has been around the block, right? And I don't know how much when he was, because let's be honest, he was a Celtic. Was he at Celtic? That's just nothing league. Anyone can win that. Like even a Neville could go up there and coach and win that. Well, maybe not, but it's like
Steven Gerrard did.
Oh, yeah, but there we go, classic. So it is going to be interesting to see how the players react to him. But also there might be a little thing sort of confidence through your players as well, because remember they've been held back for almost a year. Now they're told, go and play football, boys. Go and enjoy your football.
Yeah.
Go and enjoy your football. And they might start enjoying their football. And if they start enjoying what Ange is doing, it doesn't matter what shape and system he does. Players win football games. That's it. Players.
Yeah.
That's
well,
the
Cash, like you mentioned,
players not playing for him.
Yeah, Cash, like you mentioned, you not had a look at the Burnley game from yesterday, but I think the guys will agree that in the last couple of games, we've seen signs of Angeball. We've seen signs of the players doing the movements to get the triangles, to get the formations, to get basically the positioning on the pitch in place. We haven't seen it throughout the whole game, and I don't think you get that throughout the whole game with Ange anyway, but we are seeing like the players are adapting to his style. I'm with you. I mean, I said 4 or 5 games maybe before you start seeing it really implemented, but it's too early to judge. I would love to get your opinion in, like say, in 10 games time. But for me, we're starting to see it, and that was my biggest concern. Like exactly what Wolfie said there. We've gone from being sitting back, hitting teams on the counter attack, to being on the front foot, chasing teams down, having a high line, and it is going to take a little while, but we're already seeing the first signs of it. And I think the guys will agree. There's been some positive signs in the last couple of games for Forest, certainly.
There's a couple of things actually, because genuinely my video, I do a lot. So when I'm doing my videos, I'm only really just reviewing what I see in those highlights, unless I've actually watched the game, which I very rarely get to do. But your team though does have a lot of energy. Let's be honest. Your team's like, it is an energetic team. Your team could play Angeball. Chris Wadinho up front might, if they start feeding him and start getting him the ball properly, he could do really well. Like there is an upside to Angeball if he gets it right. Like there is a massive upside because let's be fair, he has did get it right at Spurs for a little while, and if he does get it right,
it could be very pretty. It could be very pretty.
You could be that because you were difficult to beat anyway.
Yeah,
that's the problem though, Cash. That's my big concern. We were difficult to beat, but that's because we played very defensively. And in the last 4 games before yesterday, the 3 previous games, we let in 3 goals in each game. I'm not blaming that on Ange. Before you get on me, I'm just saying something has changed, and that worries me because that was what we were. And we're trying to do something entirely different now. And I'm not sure whether Ange's got the nous to do it, to be honest, because we're not built like that, or we haven't been. I think there's a middle ground, as Wolfie was saying earlier. There's a middle ground. You don't have to totally abandon defense to go forward. It's a fallacy. You don't need to.
Let me just bring, because I can remember watching one of your games last season, and quite frankly, I'm going to be honest. People saying that you sat in and all that, that is pretty much nonsense. Yeah. You actually defended the middle of the field well. You didn't drop off, and I only saw maybe 2 games. You guys weren't parking the bus. What you were doing was making all those passing lanes and the half spaces difficult for the other teams to play for. And they would never go over the top of you. They just wouldn't do it. They would always just keep trying to play through you, and they couldn't play through you. Your midfield and your back foot was very, very solid, but you weren't defending your 18-yard box. You were on the halfway line with, I'd say, with your midfield line, and then you guys were probably behind that as you were, battling in midfield all the time. So it wasn't this.
Oh, Cash, I've got to put you right. There were some games where we were very, very.
Oh, maybe because
they moved up as a unit.
Man City today played a 5-4-1.
Oh God!
They defended deeper than we've played any game last season today.
I saw Haaland defending the 18-yard box for like 10 minutes. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, Cash, it'd be great to get you back, mate, in 10 games time.
Oh yeah, I'd love to come back. I'll come back anytime you guys need me, because I'm gonna go look at this Burnley game and that maybe tomorrow if I can sit in a chair for more than half an hour, and just put up my review of that and see what I can pull apart. But do you guys play this week?
Keep our eyes out for that.
Wednesday,
Yes,
but again,
Wednesday.
Batiste away. Yeah. So tough game to kick us off with. Chat, there's
Very
Cash's link for you in the comments. Appreciate you coming on, Cash. And if you do review that Burnley game, guys, make sure you go check it out over on his channel. And Cash will grab you back in a few weeks' time and get a full assessment on Angeball, when maybe we're top of the league or something. One can dream.
You never know, boys. You're gonna make me do some work now. Stop making me care about things, okay?
Thanks for popping on, bud.
It's been a pleasure.
It's really
Cash.
nice
Thanks so
to
much
meet
for
you.
jumping on,
Guys.
mate.
Really nice.
Guys, you're great. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Have a good night. Right. Interesting, boys. So it's wait and see. Wait and see is the message.
Yeah.
But I just want to jump back into we're just about to talk about the players.
Sorry, can
I'm
I
sorry.
just say something? Sorry, I need to
Go on.
because I think something may have come. I need to clarify something. I said from next week, I'm judging him. I didn't say if we lose 2-3-0 next week, I want him sacked. I said
Yeah,
I'm
you did
judging
say
him as a football manager. So,
No one said
it could be another 5 games before I decide he needs dumping. But yeah, just to make that clear, that's when I start judging him next week.
Okay, that's what you're saying tonight, and then tomorrow you'll
We'll
be
ignore what he said in the
saying-
last 3 streams,
Yeah.
man.
Exactly.
However,
Anyway,
if we lose against Sunderland,
yeah, exactly. I'll see that. But okay, let's talk about some of the players. I want to talk about Chris Wood. I'm sorry, Jess, but it needs discussing. I just before we do, let me just catch these super chats. Chris with another £2. He goes, the Spurs players love Ange. They did not quit. That was the general message.
they're all on the
That was
bloody medical bench. What are you on about?
Yes, again, there's a holiday time. That's why they
No
loved
wonder
him.
they loved him. I don't have to play football for 6 months. Great.
Shout out to Swan as well, becoming a member to the channel. Can we talk about Chris Wood? I don't think he had a great game yesterday, but it was one of those games where I've seen it before, where if he's not scoring, sometimes he may not be overly involved in the game. I did think, though, he was winning a lot of the long balls from Sells when they did come through to him. But I don't think, and he set up. Gibbs
He should have scored.
He should have scored. Sorry, yeah,
He should have
He should
scored.
have
I mean,
scored that one.
I mean
But,
that.
What's your thoughts on Chris Wood's game yesterday?
I mean, look, Chris Wood's got an absolute ton of credit in the bank. He's a fantastic finisher, and I was actually quite surprised that he didn't score yesterday, because usually if that ball falls to Chris Wood, he puts it in the back of the net. As soon as that happened, I was thinking, this is a bit strange, and I probably would have taken him off slightly earlier. But for me, and don't get me wrong, I think Chris Wood is excellent, and he's an absolute gem for Forest. But in an Angeball system, I can see something creeping through that Jesus is the number 9. He had that excellent game the other day where he scored 2 goals, but when he came on yesterday, within 30 seconds of being on, he nearly put that header in the top corner. It was a brilliant header. And I think his positioning, his speed, he's also got a lot of strength. I think Jesus is the man to take us forward. I'd like to see more of Kalimuendo still, but I'd rather see him again in the striker position. Yesterday we saw him playing out wide with Jesus in the middle, so it's a bit hard to tell. But for me, Jesus at the moment I'd have him starting. He'd be my number 9. I think he's going to be good in an Angeball system going forward.
I gotta bring Ant in on this one, and do you agree? Because you've had a fair few words to say about my boy Igor, man.
I know,
No,
massive agenda.
I'm loving it.
Agenda.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. He's really impressing me, and I hope he continues to. I've been pleasantly surprised, and I love that, mate. It's fucking great. It's like a bonus for me. Oh, we've got another player that can do it. No, so I'll be.
But hold on, hold on. I thought when you were talking about Igor Jesus, you said 8 goals in 62 games. He's not
correct.
A striker.
Yeah.
And like what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So it surprised me.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not going to put all my chips on him. You know what I mean? It's a long way to go. He's only played 2 or 3 games. But what I've seen of him so far has been very encouraging. He's a young lad. Let's not put too much pressure on him. Don't expect him to,
He ain't that young. He's 24, 25.
Yeah, I know. But in Premier League age. You know, he's not played proper football before, has he? He's only played in the Brazilian league.
Proper football. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, proper football.
So, but what I've seen with him so far has been very encouraging, and I hope it continues. I think it's a bit soon to be dropping Chris Wood. He did miss that chance, but there again, he practically created it himself. He turned on it really well. And you know, yes, he should have put it to the side.
I mean, dropping's probably not the word I would use, but
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's a good alternative. There's something.
Yeah.
But I thought he was excellent in the long balls that Sells did put through. I thought he was excellent. I thought he chested down a number of balls. I thought he was really good. Yeah. So I thought he was okay yesterday. Not fantastic, not bad, but I thought he was okay. I thought he did a decent job as a number 9. And after 60 minutes, if you can take him off and bring Jesus on or Calimuendo in his proper position, because I felt sorry for that guy yesterday being put out on the
right wing.
Yeah.
But if you can do that, that's not a bad place to be in, is it?
To be fair to Jesus, though, I also thought he brought the ball down well from Sells'
He did. He did. That's what I'm saying. It's good to have that situation where you could put either of them in, and you know you're going to get, probably 60 minutes good performance out of them.
I mean,
and the header, by the way, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was really good power. The power he managed to get on it, I thought it was really good.
Yeah. I think that.
One second. I'm just going to tell you the results on the Ange in, Ange out poll. 51% of you are Ange in. 17% are out. 32 are on the fence of Ange.
That's actually a bit worrying. Only 50%.
That's high. No, that's higher than it was a week ago.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
it's still not enough.
Go on. I'm going to put a poll on which
50-50, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah. So the title of the stream is actually pretty bang on. Is the fan base split? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
On that
one,
or
I think if you've done similar polls, I think you've done similar polls around when Nuno came in after his first 3 or 4 games, but actually maybe not because he got the Newcastle win and Man U win in his first.
Yeah, Man U as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So he bought himself some time. But even then, I think even after the Man U win, there was still a big group of Forest fans who weren't Nuno win.
Mate, I was fully sold. If you beat Man U, that's what you need to do.
Exactly. Anyone beats Man U for me, they can stay.
Just my comments
on the strikers stuff, Ez. So, talk about Wood, but I'm just going to put a poll up. Who would you start on Wednesday, chat, out of the 3? I'm not giving you Taiwo as an option, Hamad. Right? You got to pick one of these ones. So, Gunners.
Just in terms of Chris Wood's performance yesterday, that chance, that first touch was almost too good because it was stuck under his foot a little bit. So I think if he'd hit it out a little bit, he would have had a better chance to have a swing at it. But it was his only opportunity, which is kind of disappointing because I don't think we got any sort of performance out of Bakwa, and that's what I was really looking for with Chris Wood on the pitch.
Yeah, he was
the crosses he was whipping in against Arsenal and Swansea. We didn't see yesterday at all, did we? And he got frustrated at times. So I don't want to judge Chris Wood on yesterday's game. He's obviously still got a big part to play for Forest, but Jesus came on and he looked like he gave us a burst of energy at a time when we were kind of meandering in the game. I think Crypto said it. Maybe those substitutions should have come on sooner. When he brought Hudson-Odoi on, maybe should have made 4 subs then, because I think when the 3 came on, they definitely did make a difference. Similarly to, I'll go back to the Swansea game. Their subs made a difference. They made a triple sub in the game at the right time that changed the dynamic of that match. And yesterday, I felt we could have done more. But for Chris Wood to maintain his starting place, he's going to have a service, which has always been the case. Chris Wood without service is a plank, basically. So we can't judge him when he's not getting service. But I think it's going to come to a point where Nuno might, not keep saying Nuno, but Ange might have two squads because we are getting into the it's Wednesday, Saturday to begin with, then it goes to Thursday, Sunday, doesn't it? So we are going to get into that routine. Maybe he'll have 2 squads. He'll have a European squad and a Premier League squad. For me, Wood is still there, but he's got competition, and that's what we've wanted. Yeah, and I think Jesus at the moment is the best competition. Calimuendo, who we will touch on, hasn't really been played as a number 9 for long enough for me to judge him as a number 9. But he had a chance yesterday where you just think,
he should have scored that.
Oh,
He should have scored that.
That was
Take a
Yeah.
touch, yeah.
That was
Take a
the
touch.
easiest chance. That was the easiest
Yeah.
chance.
But you know, he's kind of like snatched at that. But he hasn't been played as a number 9, so we can't judge him as a replacement for Chris Wood. Really, at the moment, it's just Jesus, and I think Jesus looked really good when he came on yesterday. So I would see him starting against Betis, to be perfectly honest. And I think we guys would agree with that. I think Jesus will be the starting number 9 in that formation on Wednesday.
I hope so.
I
I hope so.
I don't know if you talk about what Tez will do, what Ange will do. I'm not sure.
It's hard to get. It's hard to guess, isn't it? I mean, if we move it on from Jesus, the one thing that did disappoint me yesterday, and I'm his biggest fan, Ndoye. I think Ndoye in some of the earlier games this season has been brilliant. But the one thing I was disappointed in yesterday is that Hutchinson didn't come on for Ndoye, because let's be honest, Ndoye wasn't having his best game. Hutchinson, I thought in the cup game before, had a brilliant game. I thought he was fantastic. Creating so many chances. His positional play is fantastic, and the fact that Hutchinson can't play in Europa because he's not part of the squad, I was massively disappointed not to see him come on for Ndoye yesterday. And you talk about service and stuff to Wood. Well, there was no service from Ndoye yesterday, so why not give someone like Hutchinson a chance?
Yeah, just on this
point, by the way, Wolfie, because I said no, but
apparently we have. Yeah,
just asking if we replaced Einar with Zinchenko in the Europa League squad. I believe
you asked that because I didn't know.
I've heard that rumor.
I'll cover it off in the video and the build-up either tomorrow or Tuesday. But I believe yes is the answer because it's a long-term injury and we haven't kicked a ball yet. So I will have it confirmed.
By the way, I'm not saying I'm glad we've replaced Einar with Zinchenko. I'm saying under the circumstances.
Yeah.
No,
we're here.
Just to clarify.
Can I just touch on Zinchenko? Because we did start on, we didn't really get into it, but I do think you were a little bit harsh on him because the same excuses you gave to Luis, you didn't give to Zinchenko yesterday.
Luis put the ball on the back of his own net.
I think it's match fitness. It's not match fitness, it's match sharpness. And I think they're both lacking it because there were times when the ball rolled under Douglas Luiz's foot as well. So I think that is the excuse we can give him. But to be honest, his positioning is good. His crossing when he got a chance to cross the ball was good. I think it gives us that extra threat. And also, I think it's given Neco Williams on the other side another new lease of life. Because I think he's a quality player. He's now getting in positions. He had 2 good shots on target. Obviously, he scored from one of them, and he made the goalkeeper make a save. Who, to be fair, he had an absolute blinder yesterday. What's his?
He did.
Oh, their keeper was good.
Yeah, he's a good keeper. He is a good keeper. Newcastle's backup last season, wasn't he? And now Burnley have signed him.
The thing is with Zinchenko, though, is that I feel like he's much better on the attack than he is on the defense. I don't think. I mean, I know Anne strongly disagrees, but I think Zinchenko should have kept that goal out yesterday. He got to the ball.
He's off balance.
He got to the ball. It like hit him in his midriff, and then it went in.
Making was a little...
He ran too far past it, Ben. That was the problem.
Yeah, he ran too far.
But if you watch it back, one, he's at fault because he got out jumped on the cross.
Yeah, he did get out jumped.
Then he got up on
that bit. I agree with. That was his fault, but not the on the line business.
No, I'm sorry. The on the line,
he should have cleared it.
Yeah,
you don't know where the ball is going to go before it's kicked, and then when he kicked it, instead of going near post, he went far post, and he just tried to get his leg.
He didn't have to drag it, and he just had to stop the ball.
No. I agree with that.
No, I agree with that. It was one of them things.
I think you're being soft on it. I think you're being soft on it.
99 times out of 100, it probably wouldn't happen like that. The ball would bounce off his knee or something. And
Yeah.
I tell you,
By the way, it was definitely an own goal.
Absolutely, Murillo would have cleared that without doubt because that's what Murillo does. He gets on the line, he clears it. But he's no Murillo. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. I think you're being too gentle.
You've been too generous.
Before you go any further, let me say this, right? And I'm not taking any pleasure out of this. I'm just giving you some.
Don't say stats.
Okay, no, I didn't. Information. Forza Football, who are a massive football app that I use all the time. He was the 5th best player on the pitch with 7.14. Right? Don't comment yet.
Why don't you use SofaScore?
On SofaScore, he was the 3rd best player on 7.4 7.4 score. He's the third best player after Williams and Anderson. So either me and others and everybody else is wrong, or
no, and let me clarify.
Wolfie scored him a little bit low.
No, let me clarify.
Okay, wait, hold on, Ben. Hold on.
In possession, hang on. In possession, he was good. He took the ball. He came across the pitch. He gave it out to the right hand side. I thought he covered it. He filled it. And like you say, the idea is when Zinchenko goes into midfield, the three others, either Williams can go forward or they can come as a back three. That's how it works.
Yeah, but we're not
criticizing
on the attacking.
We're not disagreeing on it.
He's not a good defender. I don't think anybody would say he's a good defender.
Let me ask you this, Ant. Let me ask you this. Did you watch the Arsenal game today?
Yeah, I did.
Of course he did.
Who would you say was Arsenal's man of the match?
Oh my god, bloody hell, you've caught me on the up there because
yeah, you damn straight I have.
Yeah, I don't think they were that great, to be honest.
Okay, but if you had to pick one, who would it be? Who would you say was the highest ranked?
I would probably go Madueke.
Okay, Madueke got the second lowest score on Sofa's score.
And he was subbed.
And he got the lowest score on
Well, stop promoting Sofa score then. Make your mind up.
I ain't promoting nothing. He got lowest on both of those.
Yeah, it's not the eye test.
And Saliba got given their highest rating across both the apps. Was Saliba their best player today? He was at fault for their goal.
Not in my opinion.
Okay, so there you go. So why are you chucking me stats about Zinchenko?
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is they're just backup information. I'm saying the rest of us think they're
your agenda.
We think they're full.
I love how you've changed the word stats to information. As if we don't realize what you're trying to do.
That's why I'm the leader of the debating society, my friend.
No one was criticizing his overall performance.
Thank you.
It was
he gave him a 4.
Because of the goal. Because of the goal.
He said he was the worst player on the pitch. He gave him a 4.
I didn't hear him say that.
He didn't give any credit for his passing ability, any credit for his holding ability, any credit for his being in the right position ability. All he said was, I think he should have said that.
That goal ruined it all. That goal, we would have won. We would have literally won if he didn't do it.
Thank you, Ben. If he clears that ball, Ant, do you think we go away with 1 point or 3 points?
I'll tell you what. Why not blame Wood for missing that chance? Why not blame Calamuendo? Their misses were more important than that defense.
I criticised every point.
You didn't give them 4.
No, I did for Wood. In fact, I think I gave Wood less. I can't remember. Chat, does anyone remember what I gave Wood?
I got bored by number 9.
Yeah. Well, once you get to the end.
I know, but did you dock Cali for missing an open goal, basically? Did you dock him points for that?
I can't at that stage, bro. I was so tired. Like I was like, when you get to the subs, you're near the end of it. You can see the finish line.
You can see the finish line. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Look, we'll get into the Betis game. Probably not tonight. Because I'm about to jump onto another stream. I think have we covered anything? Anything else we need to add?
That's the main point.
I think we covered most of it.
Big up to Martin. He's become a new member as well on the channel. Shout out to you guys. We're only on 226 likes. There's been like 600 over 600.
My like button's missing
most of the time, so please do.
One thing I did want to add.
Go on.
One thing I did want to add, it probably actually works in giving Ant a bit of a boost, but the way we actually set up with those 3 yesterday, it did look more like a 6 and 2 8s. Yesterday, because Anderson was definitely the deeper of the 3.
He was,
MG Dub was high, so they were almost staggered a little bit. And like I say, once he got,
no, he wasn't. He was okay, just okay. Gibbs White.
Just okay. Gibbs White, he was okay. He was more disciplined yesterday without being fancy or anything like that. But he didn't give a ball away.
He had no impact. Yeah, it's coming back to me now.
No impact. Yeah. Absolutely, but once you see that, obviously more match sharpness from Douglas Luiz, and you see them 3 playing together more often. I also think when Sangare came on, he looked really decent as well. So they're the 4 midfielders that we should be, in one way or another, finding ways to get in. But I did like that it was more of a 6 and 2 8 yesterday, and I felt it worked pretty well for most of the game.
Yeah, definitely. And Anderson was patently obviously the 6 as well. It was, but I thought he had less effect on. I mean, obviously you will have, but I thought he had less effect on the game than he normally has because he was staying back more.
Yeah.
You know, in previous games, you see him all over the place, running forward, getting to the bottom and everything. And I thought he was a little bit withdrawn, but that's his job. And I'm okay with it.
I think if you compare his heat map yesterday to his previous games, it's a lot more central and he's more in that deeper lying position. And I think it worked. It definitely worked yesterday for most of the game. And I think more they get used to each other, the more you're going to get out of that threesome, I think.
And once Louise gets his fitness and everything, he's going to be a player.
He's just a Rolls Royce.
He's going to be a player.
He's a Rolls Royce. I actually like the idea of when I agree with Ez when Sangare came on. I could see him if he pivoted that 3. He could allow Anderson to almost play his box to box and then free up Luis even more. And he still has the protection of over 2 of them. But anyway, that's food for thought going forward.
So we're going to have a quick word about Betis then, seeing as I don't think we're on before then, are we?
We might be.
No, Wednesday, isn't it?
I don't know. We might be. We might do something Tuesday night. I don't know.
Well, I mean, all I'd say then is
congrats, Chris. Don't do an ant though. Don't do an ant. Yeah, don't celebrate too early.
If you just in the chat, if anyone's going to the game, just let us know.
Sorry, I think it's going to be a lot harder game than I thought it was going to be. I think that they're going to be a hard. They're looking decent.
I thought you weren't scared of anyone in the Europa League because they're all farmer teams.
Did I say I was scared?
Are you?
Yeah, but we've got Ange Postecoglou as our manager now. It's a totally different ball game. When Nuno is in charge, there's no way Betis would score against our defence. Our defence is not the same as it was.
That's because Murillo's injured.
So you are scared?
I'm not scared. No, I'm concerned.
Information, stats, scared, concerned. On that note,
Anne's been reading a thesaurus before tonight. Changing words.
Hey, I used the word incumbent earlier on. How about that then?
On that note, the one thing that doesn't change is the like button. It'll always be the like button. Make sure you hit it. Right. If you have this hype button as well, press it. I don't know what it does, but apparently it's the next new thing on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed. I think we're sending over to NAF. I can't remember that. I think it is. So go say FFTV raid in there. And we'll see you tomorrow as we start to build up towards a big week this week. Forest are taking on Betis. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.